For me, it's a little bit more defense. And, you mentioned the secondary struggle, you mentioned Lattimore. But for me, I see a defense that statistically is top 15 in only one category. Now, usually your good teams, you're top 10 in most categories and top five in a few. They're top 15 in one, and they're 14th at that against with rushing touchdowns. Another thing that sings to me is the fact that they've struggled out the gate of games. So what I mean by that is they're struggling in the first quarter. They're giving up something like 69% completion percentage of quarterbacks in the first quarter. Opposing teams will score like 7 touchdowns in the first quarter. That's the quarter where they're giving up the most rushing yards in all the quarters. So that's telling me that they're not prepared mentally and they're not prepared schematically for what's in front of them. That screams coaching. And I hate to call Joe Whithout Jr. on the carpet because he looks like us. He's one of us, but he's dropping the ball here. And you mentioned the defense is old, and you're probably right. But at some point, you got to figure out how to make lemonade with lemons. You know the phrase. You got to make chicken salad out of chicken. You got to figure it out. And he's not figuring it out. And when you see a quarter that's that bad from the outset, that means your scheme game in and game out, 7 games into the season, is not working. So it's not we don't have the talent. It's not we're not executing. It's you don't know what the hell you're doing. That's bottom line. You're watching film and you're coming back saying Black 59 Razor and it's really Omaha, Omaha. So you're preparing for Black 59 Razor and teams are running Omaha and you're falling for it all the time. So that's the issue. I think it's that simple. Dan Quinn was the defensive coordinator. I don't remember him being, Vince Lombardi out that mofo either. But he's got to be better than what Witt's putting out there. It's got to be. What say you? And then you are teams breaking tackles or are they just not in position to make the tackles? Because it appears to be a mixture of both. They're breaking tackles, but they're also not even in the freaking picture. So 3-7 is a disappointment in Washington. I just don't see it happening this year. And it's crazy because I thought they would be a good football team. I thought they would be a team that was going to compete for an NFC title. I really did. I didn't think they would win it, but I think they did. And now I'm looking at a team that should be considering a rebuild. And before you say I'm bugging, well, Debo ain't no spring chicken. McLaurin wanted a new contract an hour ago. Their running back is kind of, They got to rebuild that defense. And if you got to rebuild one side of the ball, you can't. You can't have a Ferrari and live at home with your parents. Like, if you got to rebuild one side of the ball, you got to rebuild your team. You got to be on the same clock on both sides. You can't be in your prime on one side and be in the infant stages in the other. So, yeah, I think they need to seriously consider